Okay, let's start. Hello, everyone. My name is QQ Wang, Sales Director of Pylontech North American Market. Thank you very much for joining today's webinar. The topic for today is how to empower your business with commercial and industrial battery storage solutions. Before we dive into the content, I'd like to introduce our speaker, Mr. Pat Yao. He is our Technical Service Manager and has been serving the North American, South American, Australian, and African markets at Pylontech for the past 3 years. Pat, you can say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you here.
Thank you. So I believe he has experience in various high voltage battery energy storage solutions in different application scenarios. Hopefully, after this webinar, we can provide all the answers you'd like to know. We go to the page. So here is the content of the webinar. I will spend about 10 minutes to give you an overview of Pylontech company. And Pat will spend 40 to 50 minutes to introduce the CNI products and some cases introduction. At the end, you will have about 10 minutes Q&A session. Of course, during the webinar, you also can type any questions at the chat box if you have. So I'm gonna give you an overview of the company through the below contents: company overview, milestones, our market growth, R&D strength, and compatible with different inverters. This slide is to show our manufacturing base. Our headquarters is based in Shanghai, Pudong area. We have R&D center in national sales, marketing, and technical support here in the Shanghai, Pudong area. And at Pylontech, we have 4 manufacturing bases, 2 in Jiangsu province, 1 in Hubei, and a new facility in Anhui. Total capacity of these 4 facilities is 17 gigawatt hours. Till today, we have delivered more than 1 million systems to over 80 countries. That means our products have been tested and approved by different environmental scenarios. And last year, actually, we also completed the ESG audit. We will continue to do ESG every year. Adopting ESG principle means that corporate strategy focus on the 3 pillars of the environmental, social, and governance. And this means taking measures to lower pollution, CO2 output, and reduce waste. For example, some clients already received that all of our new package of batteries will be plastic-free. It also means having a diverse and inclusive workforce at the entry level and all the way up to the board of directors. ESG will be very costly and time-consuming to undertake, but can also be rewarding into the future for those that carry it through. And every year, we also invest about actually more than 6% in our R&D to keep the quality improvement and dive into any new technologies. Pylontech established in 2009. We started from BMS and LFP cathode material productions. After 2 years, we transferred our material production to one of our biggest shareholder, and he is continuing doing that manufacturing and became one of the largest cathode materials supplier in China. Then we moved down to battery cells, modules, and racking container solutions manufacturing. Of course, the BMS is always be one of our featured products. And our business is 100% for energy storage sections. Our battery cannot be used for EVs. In 2014, we started the mass shipment of residential BSS to Europe and Australia already. And next year in 2015, we developed the largest utility scale products for China market. And in 2018, we already reached 1 gigawatt-hour shipment of BSS globally. And in 2019, energy storage is getting more and more popular. We easily expanded the capacity with another 1.5 gigawatt-hours. A lot of investors starting to follow us, and then we got a public listed on China stock market successfully at the end of 2020. Based on the IHS report, Pylontech ranked as the #2 residential BSS supplier in 2021. And also thanks to the partners' strong support, we reached to #1 in last year, 2020. And we also reached 1 million BSS system shipment globally. In last year, we also honored to be selected by Morgan Stanley Capital International Index on their list. They only chose the well-performed company on their bucket. This year, our focus is more like still keep supporting our partners to grow the business and provide the localization support. Last month, we just did the news release. Our first European manufacturing base is established in Italy. This is the shipment chart since 2013. Every year, we grow the business and shipment by double digits and reach #1 of BSS supplier globally last year. So here today, we have our own independent patents, more than 238 patents, and we keep investing and doing that. Last year, we also got established a UL 1933 witness testing lab. This is a big achievement. That means that we only need to do the certificated testing, some testing in our own lab, and the UL, they just send people to our lab to watch, to do the witness, then we can get the report. So this is gonna save a lot of time and the cost, of course. Here to show our products has been compatible with most tier 1 inverters, PCS. Here just list a few more popular in North American markets, including Victron, Schneider, Solis, SMA, Outback, and Solark. So here is the brief introduction of Pylontech. Next, I'm gonna pass to Pat. He will do more introduction of the products and the cases. Pat, please.
Okay, thank you for thanks QQ for the production for the Pylontech introduction. So I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, so yes, since Pylontech, we have been dedicated on energy storage market over 10 years. So our batteries are already compatible with most Taiwan brands inverters in the market. And these are I think most of them are for the residential inverters. And for the CNI high voltage systems, And for the CNI high voltage systems, we Pylontech have our own BMS, so we can supply the standard CAN communication or RS-485 communication to the integrator, or we can integrate the PCS or inverter ourselves. So basically, our battery system, energy storage system, can compatible with any PCS or hybrid inverter in the market. So from here, you can see we provide the high voltage systems from 400 volts to even 1500 volts. Normally, it depends on the different projects we are using. So for 400 volt systems, it's normally like a rack, indoor installation with some small PCS or hybrid inverter indoor, some small systems. And we also provide the all-in-one outdoor cabinets with batteries, with PCS, or even DC-DC, STS, all these equipments in one outdoor system. And also we can provide like over 1500 volts systems for some big scale projects like front meter projects, and also the container system, because Pylontech have the ability to integrate all equipments like batteries, PCS, DC-DC, and also like transformer. And if the customer required, we can also like regard us as a equipment provider that we can supply the battery systems only in a container, and also provide the uniform communication interface for the integrator. So the integrator can have their own EMS or from the third party to communicate and monitor all equipment's information in the container, like the PCS, HVAC, RFID systems. So this is basically a solution we are providing now. Here I would like to have an introduction to our battery systems. From that, before that, we can see some various applications. I think here we listed some typical applications like self-consumption, demand charge. I think demand charge is very popular in the US and in some, especially for the commercial and industrial and also microgrid, EV charge station, backup, peak shaving, off-grid, V2G maybe gonna be more and more popular in the future. And the frequency integration, this is more like a grid service for some front meter biggest projects. Yes, regulation, frequency regulation. Basically, it's gonna be like the battery energy storage system can charge the battery quickly from grid when the energy is abundant, and discharge when the energy is less available. Keep a regular frequency, because if there is a huge load happen, the grid would have a big frequency change. So at that time, we need the energy storage system to discharge the batteries to make sure the frequency can be like still regular. So this is more like a grid service for the energy storage system. And also for some microgrid and off-grid, I think this is more popular now, because we've done a lot of projects with this kind of microgrid system. In some remote area, the PCS can have a standalone mode, like form the grid for the whole system without utility, and also using with the diesel generator. So normally the diesel generator can work as a backup. So when normally the PV panels supply the power for the load and charge the batteries, so the batteries discharged in the night to also supply the power for the load. But if we made some situation like the PV is not enough and the batteries are very low, so at this time, the PCS or we have the EMS would send a demand to the diesel generator, normally by dry contact, to start the diesel generator. So diesel generator will start working and supply the power for the load, and at the same time also charge the batteries to make sure the batteries would never over discharge. So this is a typical using that we are using. For example, in some remote area like farmers or factories. And also for the backup, when solar is sufficient, solar will charge the batteries and power the load. When the solar is weak, battery will power the load. And when grid fails or cloudy day, battery will power the load. So this is typically most for some very low is very essential that cannot be lost power. And for peak shifting, it's easy. Like you just charge the batteries when the grid cost, the power, the electricity cost is low, and discharge the batteries when the cost is high, like RP charge. And this is the V2G, like this is more popular in Europe and in some China cities. So we can see, especially in this exhibition in the solar in Germany, we see more and more solutions like integrate the EV charger with the energy storage systems. So here I'm going to show some features and strengths that Pylontech have. So first, we have the vertical integrated production. We have global market developable, and we have strong R&D capabilities to make sure that the customer installers would have a better ROI, and we can also provide customized solutions for different customers, and also we can provide the convenience solution for installers. Pylontech is the original battery manufacturer with vertical production chain. So we manufacture our own cells, and we make the block to the battery module. We have designed our own BMS, and then we can provide the battery system as a pack system or even container system. So to the container system, Pylontech have the ability to integrate all equipments that are needed, like HVAC, the air conditioning system, and the fire suppression system, and the PCS. Sometimes we can also provide the transformer if the customer need, and also switch gear. Or we can just provide the turnkey battery solutions, a container solution with all batteries installed, pre-installed in our factory, and ship the batteries to the site. So the customer can integrate the outdoor design PCS and stand it beside the batteries container. And since we have delivered, Pylontech have delivered our batteries to over 80 countries and regions around the world. So we have already get different certifications and to meet the regulations from different countries and regions. We have the IEC certifications. We have the UL 1973, UL 9540A, and UL 9540, and also the CC list in the UL. And we also have the certifications from the Japan market, like the JET and the TUV2. I think this part we have mentioned before, so I'm going to skip it. So as I mentioned, Pylontech have a vertical integration. So we have our own BMS. So from here, you can see we have the 3-level BMS structure from BMU, BMS, and NBMS. NBMS will collect all battery BMS situation and information, like the cell voltage, temperature, current, isolation, communication, all these informations with the PCS or EMS for good cooperation and better operation performance. So the BMU is the board in the battery module, and the BMS is an extra controller. So the system consists of like one BMS controller plus several battery modules. So we call that one battery stream. And for many systems, we have different battery streams. Like, for example, for the 20-feet container, we have like 10 streams batteries. That means we have 10 BMS controller, and each BMS controller would also have like 20 battery modules. And on that, besides, we would have the NBMS, that master BMS for all these BMS controller. So this is the top equipment above the battery system, and the NBMS would communicate with the PCS or with the EMS. The EMS is the energy management system. So this is the 3-level BMS structure we have to get all information from and the data from the energy storage systems to make sure the system can work normally and always upload the alarms or the events when the system is wrong. So the customer or the installers can find the alarms at the first time and to solve it, and then make the system continue to running. This is the advantage from Pylontech, because from the sales to the BMS, all these are from the Pylontech design. And our battery cycle life is over 7,000 cycles. This is not for the sales. For the sales level, the sales cycle life is over, I think it's over 12,000 cycles. So our product design and production driven by long life cycle. That's what we want, because we want to make sure that the ROI is really good for the customers or installers. So one of the most important feature is the cycle life. So 7,000 cycle lives and 10 years of product market validation. Since we have already been in the energy storage market for 10 years. So our batteries, some of our batteries already work for over 10 years, and they are still working normally. So we have been here for 10 years and we're gonna be still here for another 10 years. That's why we say the warranty Pylontech said is impressive, and that you can trust us because we have already been here for a long time. Not like some fresh companies just provide a warranty years. That's just the number. So this is the high flexibility and various demand gathering. So we can provide modular design and customer solution. So for Pylontech, since we have our own sales and BMS, we have the vertical integration chain. So we have different battery modules, like different voltage range, and to meet the different scenarios. And we can provide a diversity of battery types and a smaller single-side module. And our BMS is self-developed. So basically we can compatible with different PCS, high voltage PCS, and the customer or installers, they do not need to concern for future needs. So for example, the batteries or the products they always have the new version. So for Pylontech, we also have updated different versions of batteries. But what the most important thing that our new batteries or new version batteries are always compatible with the old version batteries. That is very important and useful for the customers. For example, the customer bought our batteries like 5 years ago, and at that time the batteries is not very cheap. It's expensive, so he just need install a limit capacity for his system, and till now he think the system is too small and he want to expand systems. So he can just bought our new version batteries, and new batteries can still working with the old batteries. This is the thing that Pylontech can always do. And this is very important, necessary for the maintenance in future, like the after sales service. This is our outdoor cabinet solution. So you can see the battery on the left side is the battery cabinet. The capacity is around 100 to 400 kilowatt hours. So basically for one outdoor cabinet, it can have around 100 kilowatt hours. And the PCS power range is from 30 to 200 kilovolts. I mean, this is one cabinet. You can have several cabinets in parallel connection, but if the whole system capacity is over 400 kilowatt hour, then we do not suggest this kind of solution, because that would not be economic. So, and we can also provide the EMS for this kind of all-in-one solution with the self-consumption, demand response, microgrid control, remote control, and we can provide the IP 5.4 for the whole cabinet. And we also have all certifications that require. And also this is, you can regard it as a mini container with a HVAC, with a firefighting system integrated. So you can see these are the battery modules, and here are the control cabinet. This is 100 kilowatt hours for each cabinet. This is our 20 feet container. So you can see this is walk-in maintainable. So the engineer can walk inside for operation and for the maintenance. And we also integrated the PCS, the EMS, fire suppression system, the HVAC. This is air cooling. So normally for the half C or even below and below half C using, we use air cooling for the whole system. And this is a 40 feet container systems. So you can see this is outdoor maintainable. That means we open the door for the containers, and the engineer with the maintenance and operate the system from outside because there is no space inside the container. So this is the big HVAC and also the fire suppression systems, DC conference cabinet. So this is our new solution, like using M5 batteries. M5 container design footprint would reduce 30% or even more. And all, like I mentioned, for the container systems, we prefer the 20 feet container design because we can pre-install all the equipment inside these 20 feet containers, and we can make sure, we would make sure the total weight gonna be like below 30 tons. So that can be like all equipment pre-installed in the factory and ship the whole container to the site, and the installers just need to do like plug and play. So that's very easy, save a lot of cost, a lot of time for the installers. This is all-in-one solutions. Same also. So this is like a totally batteries cabinet. You can see this is like a 200 kilowatt hour system. So this is 100 and this is another 100 batteries. So we have like different types of the outdoor cabinet, just according to different requirements for the commercial and industrial projects. And this is our M1 batteries. This is for up to 1 C-rate. And the 20 feet container system can reach to 1.4 megawatt hours. And the system voltage is around 700 volts. And we also have the UL certification for the batteries. This is a battery module. This is the BMS controller. This is the battery rack. So we call this is one streams. So in the 20 feet container, you're gonna have like several streams in the container. This is M3, so another battery module. So the only difference is that they have a different capacity for each module. So the battery module size is also a little different. So we would gonna choose like different modules according to the different projects to make sure the system, the solution is most suitable for the project. So this is M3. You can see for M3A, for this kind of battery module, each battery module have 2 fans inside. So this can using for the continuously 1C using, and also have the UL certifications. And we can also use this kind of battery module to consist a system over 1500 volts system to use with some big PCS, because the trend for the high voltage solution is that the DC voltage, I mean for the batteries, is going to be higher and higher. So before, in the past, it's like 700, 600 volts, and then 1000 volts, and then 1500 volts. And even now, I think some applications, the DC batteries voltage going to be like 2000 volts. So I think this is going to be a trend for the high voltage system, because they can like have a higher efficiency, transport efficiency, and less cost for the systems. So high voltage gonna be a trend, gonna be higher and higher. So this is our new solutions for the CNI projects and also for the utility projects using our M5 batteries. So each container, like 20 feet container, can have like 2.5 megawatt hours. And we can ship the whole container with all batteries pre-installed in our factory to the site. This is the M5 batteries. So typically we use it for 1500 volt systems. And these are the basic parameters for M5, but it's for the half C, 2-hour systems. We are still developing our 1C systems, and I think they are gonna be released soon. And this is the 40 feet containers for M1 batteries. The whole container system is 2.8 megawatt hours. So for some small CNI projects, like 1 megawatt hour, below 3 megawatt hours, we prefer the M1C batteries because each battery module is like 4.7 kilowatt hours. It's not that heavy, so it's gonna be very easy for the maintenance. Like if we found one battery is got issue and we need to replace it, then we just disconnect the cables and just dismantle that battery and replace with another batteries. I think one engineer is okay for that. But for some big battery modules with higher energy density, that's good for big scale projects because you can save cost because you have a higher energy density. You can use less containers. But for that kind of using, if you're gonna to replace the battery module, you need to use the lift fork because each battery module is very heavy. So like I mentioned, Pylontech always want to provide complete solutions for the customers. We provide the modular design batteries from small capacity to big high capacity. So for small scale projects, we still prefer the M1C battery modules because they are much more easy to maintenance. And also M3A, it's a little bigger. It's like 5.8 kilowatt hour per module, but that's not very heavy. You can still like 2 engineers can replace the battery module. And this is the M5 batteries. We prefer the 20 feet containers solution because we can ship the whole containers to the systems with all batteries pre-installed. Here I'm going to show you some case study. We dedicated in the market for 10 years, and we have delivered over 1 million energy storage systems globally. So this is the full 1C system in Europe, like self-consumption with grid. And this is in Middle East, also for the self-consumption, but using with the diesel generator, also 1C system. This is in Europe, also in Europe, but it's like 2-hour system for grid service. It's in Europe too. I think it's in Africa. So I think that I remember this project is in a very high temperature, high temperature environment, but our batteries can still working very well at the moment. And this is in Ireland, I think. So for this kind of project, we can provide like higher corruption protection level, like C5 level and IP65 for the battery modules, also for the BMS, for all equipments that are going to be used. This is in Hawaii, I think. It's like a 20 feet container. this is American too for the grid service. And this is in Antarctica. The temperature is like -30 or even 40 degrees. But our batteries are still working very well now. And it's in Oceania for the peak shaving, 90 kilowatts, 260 kWh. And this is in our factory, like a demo project. It's also in another island in Asia for the microgrid system using the PV diesel generator with battery energy storage system, which is a very typical solution. And this is our building for the data center as a UPS function. So this is also so I think that's all. So you can also meet us in this IE Plus conference. So, and also we gonna to move to the Q&A part.
Thank you, Pat. Thanks for all those detailed introduction. So we see someone has questions at the chat box. For the slides, we're gonna share it with everyone who joined this webinar. And also Piers is asking, do we have any preferred PCS? Actually, we don't have any preferred PCS. We do have the compatible list, which if you want to get the full list, you can send us email. We'll send you the full list. You can choose anyone you like or available in the market. So could it be compatible?
Wait a moment. I think for the PCS, actually, it's not like residential inverters. We have a compatible list for the PCS that using for high voltage systems. Actually, we can just provide our like communication protocol for the integrator. So if you have your preferred PCS, we can provide you our communication protocol, so you can like integrate the system. Or if you have the PCS that's wants us to choose, we can also integrate them. So the only thing is like just check the communication protocol, and then our battery energy storage system can work with different PCS. So that's not a problem.
Okay, good. And Roland is asking, Pylontech did get the sodium battery certificate. How far away we are from the products? So
Yes, I think a few months ago we have released the news that Pylontech is the first company in the world to get the certification from TUV for the sodium batteries. That's because Pylontech is always trying to find different ways or different solutions for this market. And sodium battery is like it's heavy. It's very heavy, but with a lower price, with a lower cost, because the material is much more easier to get. I think in the end of this year, we're gonna release sodium batteries, and yes, we can look forward to this product.
Okay, good. And Pierce is asking, what's the max capacity for our 20-feet container and a 40-feet container?
Basically, for our M5 batteries, for 20-feet container, the maximum capacity is 2.5 megawatt-hour. So we can ship the whole container with all batteries pre-installed to the site. And for 40-feet container, we can install like 5 or even 6 megawatt-hours capacity. But considering the delivery, we need to like ship some batteries separately, because there is a limitation for the containers when ship them. Like you need to below 30 tons. So 2.5 megawatt-hour for 20-feet containers, and 5 to 6 megawatt-hour capacity for 40-feet container.
Okay, thank you. Piers also has another question. Are the modules plug and play live for maintenance, or do you need shut the system down to replace a module?
Yes, not to shut down the whole system. for the system, it consists of like different battery streams. So if there is a 140 battery module in one stream, you just need to shut down the BMS controller for that stream. So you like isolated this battery stream from the system, and then you can do the maintenance. So you can replace the battery module. You don't need to shut down the whole system.
Okay. And Avi is asking, do you guys have office in Canada? Actually, I'm based in Toronto. I live in Canada. So you can contact me to discuss any projects information requirements. I type you my email here.
Any questions? You can just type here and we can. You're welcome.
So we can wait a few more minutes to see if one have any other
Yeah,
questions.
sure. Just feel free to ask us.
Pat, can you put the compatible list, that one, if anyone wants to get the compatible list, they can scan the QR code. Yeah. So scan this
Yes.
QR code, you can get the full list of the compatible inverters. Seems no one has more questions. Okay, so thanks again for everyone to join today's webinar. If you have any further questions, just send me or Pat email. We will reply you by email. Thank you everyone. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Kiki. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Have a good day. See you.
Bye bye.